Good day everyone, I'm Hurley Borafy Reviews here, back at it again with my review for the Venture Electronics, but this time it is the Galvatron. The Galvatron is the latest product from Venture Electronics, and it is a humongous sound card or a humongous USB DAC if you want to call it that way. Okay, but before we proceed, first things first, my apologies if you find my nails a little bit dirty or something like that, because I cleaned my area recently and there's still some unfinished business going on here actually. And second, I would like to thank Venture Electronics for sending this unit to me in an exchange for a very honest and transparent review. Rest assured that all of my reviews are honest and transparent to the core, like I always do, for the benefit of everybody, of course, including me. Since again and again, I won't be editing this extensively. English isn't really my native language and I prefer writing reviews rather than recording them. As most of you know, hopefully. And hopefully you understand. Okay? Okay. So the Venture Electronics Galvatron costs around 200 USD or 200 to 227 USD, depending if you buy the base Galvatron itself or if you prefer it bought with the bundle that it comes with. So it is around 10,000 ish Philippine pesos in Philippine money. Okay? Okay. So we'll tackle first, yes. We'll tackle first the packaging because again, um the Galvatron is definitely an overkill, which I will explain later on. Okay, so here's the packaging. As you can see, there's nothing too crazy, nothing too much here. As Venture Electronics has been like that for the past, I don't know, decade or two, because they don't usually bedazzle you with the packaging, because from what I understand, they usually put they put their worth on the product itself, not on the packaging. Most of the time, of course. As you can see, this is your usual basic mailer box here with their logo in it. Venture Electronics with their logo in it as well. And with their logo in it as well, the sound to believe, their catchphrase or their motto. And yeah, it's basically just a box like that. But it does come with some cellophane the first time you open this, and it has the Galvatron itself. So as for the accessories, you get this, you get everything that this comes with, and you also get this Venture Electronics mic. Yes, this is a lapel mic from what I understand, the VM1, which is right here. As you can see, it also has this adapter. Yes, this splitter adapter for mic and earphones. But this is the mic itself. As you can see here, it is a lapel mic. And it works well actually. It works well with the Galvatron when you use it on your desktop or laptop computers or something like that. It is actually clearer than my mic that I am using. Do take note that the mic that I am using here is the mic from the Venture Electronics Metapod. I'm still using the Metapod as my daily or as my work, yes, my work earbuds, and at the same time my mic whenever I record videos. But yes, the VM1 that the Venture Electronics Galvatron comes with is definitely far clearer and better than the one that I am using right now. However, the Venture Electronics VM1 doesn't work with the Galvatron when paired with smartphones, cell phones, and tablets. And it is understandable because according to Wiley himself, I do need an adapter to use this with my smartphones and tablets, which I can understand. But if you're using, well, most likely you'll be using the Galvatron with your laptop or your desktop computers. You will be having no problems pairing the VM1 with the Galvatron because it is literally plug and play. Okay? Okay. So now, as for the accessories, aside from the lapel mic or the VM1, it comes with this one, your usual simple but at the same time, according to them, according to Venture Electronics themselves, well shielded USB-C to USB-C cable. You'll also get this one, the sleeved USB-A to USB-C cable, and you'll also get the impedance adapters and some rubber feet, which are usually their standard because it also had Megatron also had this in their later batches. Yeah, As you can see here, I use this with with my Megatron here. Now that is out of the way, let's do a quick size comparison, okay, before we proceed to the other topics here. So this is the Venture Electronics Galvatron, and this is the Megatron. As you can see, the size on this one is definitely larger. To give you an idea, the Galvatron is as large or as long as my smartphone here, as you can see. So this is around like 6.5 or 6.8 inches, as you can see here. There we go. Without the knob, of course. Just the chassis itself is like 6.8, give or take. Okay? And it is definitely larger than the Megatron because of, from what I understand, its specifications as well, which I will tackle later on. But the thickness, the materials used here are quite the same in terms of the exterior qualities, at least. Aside from the fact that the Megatron, when used or compared side by side with the Galvatron, looks like a prototype, probably because of its top and bottom plates. As you can see here, it isn't as, like, I don't know, refined in my humble opinion when compared to the Galvatron. But make no mistake, the Megatron is definitely a solid brick, as you can see. As you can see and as you can hear. I'm not sure if you're I'm not even sure if you're hearing anything, but this is a very solid build. So yeah, definitely one of the most powerful and remarkable USB DACs under 50 USD. While the Galvatron is definitely, and currently from what I know, the most powerful USB DAC that you can have, or the sound card that you can have under 200 USD brand new. But yeah, as what I've said earlier, the Galvatron is definitely an overkill. But I'll tackle that later on. Let's go to the ports, at least as of now. Okay, so as for the ports, as you can see here, they kinda eradicated the 2.5. Yeah, they kinda eradicated the 2.5 the Megatron has, because let's face it, only a few people that I know uses 2.5, or probably there's zero people that's using the 2.5 anymore, because let's face it, 2.5 plugs are quite fragile for what they're worth. So yeah, what we'll have here with the with the Galvatron is a 3.5 SE, your usual 4.4 balance, and a dedicated mic. Yes, apparently Venture Electronics put here a dedicated mic port. So yeah, it is definitely, or literally, plug and play when it comes to, for you to use a microphone, or particularly the VM1 that the Megatron includes. So props to Venture Electronics for that one, because only a few sound cards, or probably interface under 200 USD that I have encountered has this dedicated mic port, okay, or 3.5 mic port. Okay, now it also has this, as you can see, it also has the gain switch, which is quite essential apparently, which I'll explain later on as well, and a analog volume knob. I do love this knob so much. When it comes to my devices, I prefer it with a volume knob, despite it having the compromises, or probably the negatives down the line, because it feels tactile when compared to the software volumes. I do prefer software volumes on portable devices though. Make no mistake, again, the Galvatron is transportable, not portable, in my humble opinion. Those are two very, very different things. Okay? So as you can see here, it also has this volume knob, which is very, very satisfying, but at the same time, it produces some screeching. I'm not sure if you're hearing it, because the clearance of the volume knob and I'm not sure if it's the plate or if it's the PCB is quite low, and they are bumping into each other. It exhibits that quite of scratchy feel to it. But from Venture Electronics update, yes, they updated me about this. They updated me about the knob. If you're one of the persons that pre-ordered or bought or slash purchased the Megatron early, you'll get the additional knob, or the refined knob for the Galvatron for free. From what I understand as well, it is smaller Yes, it is smaller than this one, making it a little bit more sleek, a little bit smaller when it comes to the height, including the volume knob, which is a good thing because Venture Electronics said that they want it to be in a low profile manner while at the same time has that tactility to it, has that smooth, yeah, as you can see, smooth turns to it, the smooth volume knobs. So I'm into that as well. But if you're purchasing the Megatron, like let's say later this year or probably next month, you won't be getting the extra knob, of course, to clarify things. Okay, because you'll be getting the better version or the better volume knob already installed in the Galvatron. Okay, so those free stuff are definitely for those people who purchased the Galvatron early. Okay, okay. Now we'll switch to the backside here. As you can see, it has two dedicated, yes, it has two dedicated ports when compared to the Megatron, and it also has that, but this time it seems that they have also made a cutout, which is a really good thing. And they added some ports here, as you can see. They added a line out, a true line out, by the way, the 4.4 balance and 3.5 SE. And they also added this SPDIF, just in case you want to use this as a part of your home theater or something. This is quite possible if you want it to. Because again, the Galvatron is treated like a sound card. In my humble opinion, I treated the Galvatron like a sound card more than a USB dock or a USB dongle that I can carry over anywhere. Like for example, I can carry it to coffee shops and such. But one can't deny that it is chunky and it is big because it has a reason, which is the power. Well, from as what I have told, or as what I have said earlier, the Galvatron, in my humble opinion, is by far the most powerful dongle, if I call it dongle, or a USB dock under 200 USD brand new, because it really is. So to give an idea, the Megatron is already powerful enough. Some might even say that this is an overkill for a sound card for most IEMs and flatted earbuds, because the first batches has some floor noise to it, while this latest batch doesn't have that at all as of now. Well, the Galvatron is like 10 times of that. Yes, 10 times of that apparently, which is bonkers, or which is definitely crazy if you think about it, because literally no product from what I know doesn't really require that huge amount of swing. I'll just put these specifics while I'll explain here in this video, probably an overlay here. But to give you an idea, the Galvatron has like five OPA chips, or operational amplifier chips, OPA 1612 from what I remember. 5 OPA chips and 2 TPA chips. So that's like seven total of operational amplifiers, which is crazy, which is definitely crazy, and will swing a lot of power no matter what product you pair it with. Those types of configuration can also be found with my current DAP, which is the Hebe R4. But the Galvatron is definitely more powerful when compared to the Hebe R4, because my 600 ohms, like I have an AKG K141, and the Galvatron eats the K141's requirements easily. Do take note that the K141 is 600 ohms. Okay, so yeah, to give you rough ideas, that's the basic reason, or probably the reason as to why the Galvatron is quite larger than the Megatron. Okay, so I'll still discuss it. Discuss it later on. Let's focus more here in the features first. So the features of the Galvatron is pretty much straightforward and basic. It is literally plug and play. It has that 4.4 balance, it has that gain switch, it has that line out ports here, it has that charge and data port there. So nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy, but at the same time it also has pretty much everything you need for you to get started. Of course, it doesn't have that EQ. It doesn't have any proprietary app, proprietary drivers for you to trickle with, or for you to do some experiments with, because it isn't intended to be used like that. Most products like venture electronics products are usually plug and play. They don't require you any extensive stuff for you to get going. Actually, it is literally plug and play and lets you focus on what you're doing, which is also the case here in the Galvatron, because it is literally plug and play when you pair it with even smartphones actually. But there's a catch to it. You can pair this with laptops, computers, desktops with ease. You won't be having any problems when it comes to the compatibility. What you'll be having problem is if you pair this with a smartphone. So my smartphone here is the Galaxy S20 FE, and an Infinix. Yes, it is a Transsion phone from what I understand. It is an Infinix Note 12 G96. It is both products actually. Both phones are already 4 years old. So your mileage may vary, and the Galvatron doesn't seem to communicate well on its own when paired with smartphones, based on my experience at least. And the phones keep stating that the Galvatron is a high power device or something like that, which is literally true. So to come up with this problem, Venture Electronics has always been doing this dual USB chip, dual USB ports for you to use the Venture Electronics Galvatron's sound through its data cable, while at the same time you can power the Megatron and your phone actually with through the charging port. So basically, with whenever you use the Galvatron with your smartphones, to you need to use a charger. You need to use a USB-C cable that is plugged directly to an outlet or a power bank to the Galvatron through this charging port, and at the same time you put the USB-C to USB-C that they have provided, or any USB-C to USB-C of your choice actually, to your phone, making it a very transportable setup. Again, it is not portable. It is not portable in my humble opinion, but more of transportable, because it has that extra configurations for you to get it working properly. Because again, the Galvatron is a very powerful source. No doubts on that one. So it also means that it affects the battery. It affects the battery in a very good way most of the time, given that whenever you use the Galvatron with your smartphone, you'll basically getting a bypass charging. Yeah, you'll basically getting a bypass charging, wherein the smartphone, or probably a DAP, if a DAP permits. Yes, the R4 also does that. Like, you can use it with the Galvatron as long as it has a charger. It has a USB charger charging. You can use the Galvatron while the smartphone is charging. Yes, the smartphone will literally charge the more you use the Megatron while you pair it with that. So in terms of battery life, consumption, or anything like that, you won't be having any problems when it comes to the Galvatron. When you pair this with a laptop, like for example, you'll still get your usual you'll still get your usual laptop battery consumption. Like, well, my laptop lasts for around 7 to 8 hours tops on full load, and I managed to squeeze in at least 6 hours with the Galvatron paired with the laptop. So that's a really good thing, a really huge thing to me. So because it doesn't sacrifice any power, it doesn't cripple itself when paired with only one cable, but at the same time, it is quite thrifty for what it's been powering. Okay. Now, as for the power, Yes, definitely. The power of the Galvatron is absolutely insane. Again, it is definitely wild, literally wild. That I can't imagine a product will that will make the Galvatron be the requirement for that product, is except for probably electrostatic devices or something like that, or probably the KK speakers that widely indicates in his post about the Galvatron. But for the most part, for most people like us, it is literally overkill. You can pair this with your very sensitive, yes, your very sensitive IEMs or flatted earbuds, down to your full size planars, even planar magnetic drivers. Like, for example, I paired this with the Hi-Fi Man HE400 SE, and is very it sounds very lively, it sounds very effortless, just as effortless with my Zen Stack, but at the same time it is quite transportable, very transportable when compared to the Zen Stack, because uh I won't be using my Zen Stack outside. That's quite obnoxious, and that's quite big. So yeah, as for the power, you won't be having any problems here with the Galvatron. You can use this with pretty much headphones, any headphones that you own. I actually use this with my AKG K141, which is 600 ohms. I also use this with my AKG K701. Yes, I have that, and that is very easy to drive. Actually, up to the point that it may sound clipping, it will exhibit clipping the more you put, or the more you feed power to it, which is nuts. I won't be doing that actually on a consistent load, because that will probably ruin the drivers. Yes, but yeah, the Galvatron is definitely more than enough and an overkill for everyone, given that it has this switch. Most of the time I don't use this switch, this low gain and high gain switch. I usually just set it into low gain, because the moment I use it with high gain, even the Vanguard itself, the 300 ohms Venture Electronics UA Vanguard, the it is, what do you call this, it distorts heavily. It doesn't seem to like excessive amount of power. The only headphone that like the high gain switch, based on my experience, is the Hi-Fi Man HE400 SE, which is a planar magnetic driver. So yeah, you most of the time you won't be having any requirement, or you won't be needing the high gain switch on this one. Just set it into low gain and you're ready to go. Like, whether it be you're using the quad brid. Yes, I have a quad brid. What do you call this? Kiwi ear septet. I have the Dunu brain dance. I have like every IM from easy to drive down to the hardest to drive. I had no problems, even hissing, even like floor noise here with the Galvatron. The Galvatron is very it is very clean. It is pitch black for its price. I had no problems with it. Okay, now as for the sound of the Galvatron is like your usual slash typical VE, so it is a well balanced sound. Probably the configuration of the OPA and PPA operational amplifiers contributed a lot to the sound of the Venture Electronics Galvatron, which also shares the same with the Megatron actually. So what you'll be getting here is a balance. It is a well-balanced sound that is noticeably thick. The only time that I noticed that extra thickness to it is when I paired this with my Etymotic ER2SE, which is very noticeable on that set, because that set is very source sensitive and chain sensitive. My Kotori Audio Zephyr also noticed that there is a noticeable thickening of the sound, if you may, that is going on here. So it still has that level of transparency that most sound cards have, or most USB dongles have, but at the same time it doesn't have that unforgiving character for most people to be put off, except me, of course. Okay, so I'll switch to the Tagalog version of this one for for me to do a quick rundown. So, bali itong si Venture Electronics Galvatron is pinadala sa akin ni Wildly ng Venture Electronics and ni Sunfi. Thank you, Sunfi. Yung price nito is around 10,000 pesos yata sa pagkakatanda ko. So, nasa 200 to 220-ish US dollar siya, which is big jump sa Megatron. Kasi ang Megatron is nasa 2,500 or 2,700 pesos lang. Yung makukuha mo dito is meron silang libreng lapel mic or may kasama siyang lapel mic here, pero magagamit mo lang siya sa computer and need mo ng adapter, gusto mo siyang gamitin sa phone. Tapos meron siyang USB-C, meron din siyang USB-C to USB-A, and meron din siyang impedance adapters just in case na kailanganin mo, which most of the time hindi ko naman kinailangan. And meron din siyang rubber feet, which is quite standard naman na yun. Ngayon, sa size niya, kasi laki siya ng cellphone. Actually, 6.8 inches. Hindi pa kasama tong volume knob. And yung build quality niya, halos pareho lang. Oo, halos pareho lang siya ng Megatron. Oo, ng build quality. Mas malaki lang talaga yung Galvatron, obviously. Oo, tapos, ayun nga, may volume knob na. May volume knob, merong, ayan, 3 ports. Wala na yung 2.5, ginawa na siyang mic port. And may high gain and low gain switch, pero most of the time, naka-low gain lang talaga ako. Tapos, meron pang line out. Ayan, may true line out siya ng 4.4 and 3.5. Meron din siyang SPDIF. And dalawa yung USB-C niya. Kasi, pag ginamit mo to sa cellphone, hindi siya gagana kasi masyadong mataas yung inihinging power requirement ng Megatron, ay ng Galvatron, sorry. Kaya ang ginawa nila is need mong i-charge or need mong lagyan ng wall, isaksak sa wall outlet tong Galvatron or sa power bank mo. Tapos dito may sasaksak sa USB-C yung Galvatron sa phone mo or probably kung sa DAP mo, pero ang weird kung lalagyan mo yung DAP mo nito kasi may DAC na nga yun eh. Kaya ayun, in return naman, yung Galvatron, magagamit mo siya ng naka-charge, yung literally yung phone mo. So, wala kang problema sa battery. Oo, na maglolobat, mabilis mag-drain, yan to ganyan. Pero ayun, baka may mga phones na hindi naman nire-require ng Galvatron ng ganon, i-comment nyo na lang if meron. Okay? Okay. Now, sa tunog, yung sa tunog niya, again, katulad lang siya ng Megatron na balanced, na may konting pagkakapal yung tunog, na transparent pa rin, pero hindi siya kasing transparent ng dongle ko dito na iba. Hindi rin siya warm, sakto lang, pero most of the time balance lang talaga siya. Oo, and ayun nga, sobrang overkill na ng Megatron, ay ng Galvatron, sorry. Sobrang overkill na ng Galvatron na kahit yung Vanguard nila, sumusuko dito eh. Hindi ko siya magawang i-high gain kasi nagdi-distort na siya, nagki-clip. Kaya naka-login lang siya, tas nasa, sabihin natin, medium power na ganyan. Nakaganyan lang siya ng power. Diba? Or naka 12 o'clock na power. So, ayun, literally overkill siya. Ang device lang na gumamit ng high gain nito, nung trinay ko yung Galvatron, is yung planar magnetico na Hi-Fi-Man HE400 SE. Kasi doon wala talagang problema, kahit i-crank ko pa yan eh. Ako na nga lang, yung tenga ko na nga lang sumusuko kasi malakas na kasi talaga. Kaya nakaganyan lang siya. Pero for the most devices, kahit nga, lalo na pag IEM, dapat naka-low lang talaga. Tapos sabihin natin nakababa lang na ganyan. Oo. Kahit nga yung headphones ko na na AKG K701, nakaganyan lang. Ganyan lang siya, 12 o'clock. Yung ko, yung AKG K141 ko, may time gusto ko mag high gain, tas ganyan. Tapos may time gusto ko low gain, pero nakaganyan siya. Kaya ayun, literal na overkill tong Galvatron, and most of the time hindi mo kailangan ito. Pero kung sabihin natin gusto mo ng all-in-one sound card na alam mong parang kahit kailan is dependable, maasahan mo, ganun, okay, sige, yung Galvatron is para sa'yo. If willing ka mag-shell out ng 10,000 pesos para sa sound card. Pero kung halimbawa naman IEM lang gamit mo, tas gusto mo lang talaga ng matinong merong mas mga low power dyan. May mga mas mura na low power dyan. Ni-check mo na lang. Okay? Now, balik na ako sa English para sa verdict ko dito sa Galvatron. Okay? So, what's my verdict here with the Venture Electronics Galvatron? Well, the Venture Electronics Galvatron is currently the most powerful USB DAC that you could think of or that you could find under 200 or under 250 US dollars, depending on the bundle and the shipping cost that it comes with. It is literally powerful that I call it insane, because no product or only a few products needs this amount of power, because let's face it, like all of your IEMs do not need this kind of power, but hey, it adds that assurance, it adds that future proofing, wherein probably there's one day that a transducer, or definitely or probably a headphone or an IEM will be powerful enough that, or will be demanding high amounts of power that the Galvatron has. Well, that's the time for you to use the Galvatron. But in the meantime, the Galvatron pairs well. Literally, it pairs well even on low volume with all of the IEMs, flatted earbuds, and headphones that I have it with. Actually, if you crank all the way the power of the Galvatron with your IEMs, especially those IEMs with dynamic drivers, you will definitely hear a distortion or a clipping at some point if the power goes too much, which is literally a bad thing, since you don't want to ruin your earphones, your hard-earned earphones. So there's that. But yeah, I can still definitely recommend the Galvatron as long as you know what you are doing, and as long as if you're willing to shell out 200 USD for this type of USB DAC or sound card. Okay, and now that ends my review for the Venture Electronics Galvatron. Again, I'd like to thank Venture Electronics for sending this unit to me in an exchange for a very honest and transparent review. Rest assured that all of my reviews are honest and transparent to the core, like I always do, for the benefit of everybody, of course, including me. Since again and again, I won't be editing this extensively, English isn't really my native language, and I prefer writing reviews rather than recording them. Okay? Now, as for the backlogs, I have a lot of backlogs. Again, I still have this, the review for this, the Sivga M300. And yes, this pairs well with the Megatron, actually. I also have the two Venture Electronics products that came earlier today, which is the Monk SL Plus and the SL Plus with mic. So keep an eye on that. And I still have some products that are along the way. Hopefully they arrive as soon as possible, because I need some proper scheduling with these products. Okay, and thank you for stopping by, thank you for listening to this review, and see you in the next one. Isa pa, last one.